Shank would give me so much shit. Like, chat, should I get drunker? I'm like, I shouldn't ask chat. Chat's just gonna tell me. Yes, yes, drink more, dragon. Yeah, no, it's not happening. Okay, are we gonna stay you guys here? Do you want to stay here? But if you guys fall over, I can't save you. So, like, you guys need to hang on. Okay? Like, I swear, if you guys fall over the edge and you face plant, like, there's no coming back. So I just gotta make sure you guys are steady. You guys cannot lean. You guys gotta lean back so you guys don't fall. Chopper, you out of here? I'm gonna go smoke. When... You better be in the hot tub when I get back? Okay, sounds good. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright. Don't fall over, because I can't save you. Are you gonna talk to chat? Huh? Or are you coming out to talk to chat?
I'm in Maui and I don't know why I wanna cry. I see the view in the distance and I see the palm trees in front of me. I just wanna get warm in the 98 degrees. I'm talking about the hot tub, my OGs. Waiting for Dragon to get back from the restroom. Contemplating life with my girl Nala, shaking the booty. Hi. Oh, hi. You like the attention? Look at her tail. It's shaking. Good girl. Oh, she's so sweet. Thank you, bro. I've been working on my voice for so long. Yo, I'm hungry, guys. I'm super hungry. I need some food. Hey, row your boat. Hey, Rocket Reviews. Hey, guys. Whoop. Let's take this party inside. Coming in, Jack. Coming in. Coming in. Coming in, coming in, coming in. Back in the kitchen, guys. You ever been here? Okay. Don't be falling over now, brother. They got scared because you're getting so dark outside, they said. They're like, bring us inside, my dude. Alright.
They're in such a bad position.
They look good to me. Maybe move them over a little bit. Oh, that's perfect.
Patrick says I prefer outside.
Ooh.
So So far, so good. Don't be weird, Dad. Who's Dad?
I'm Dad.